Well, I'm over here eating anti-acid chews.
Good evening, everybody. AJ from Sacramento.
Hey, AJ.
Hey, Dad, congrats. I saw you too. I saw your name too, man. Good
Thank
stuff,
you.
man.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff, brother. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Guillermo Rubio. How you doing?
Rubio, how are you, brother?
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, hello. You excited about the call? You swear that's cool. Which one is it?
I'm excited. I'm excited.
You excited? Good stuff. Good stuff. I got this. All right.
Good evening from Prattville, Alabama. Michael Rowe.
Alabama.
Alabama.
Well, if I said so, would you roll tide get me in trouble or not?
Oh, all day roll tide.
Guillermo Rubio, Torrance,
Where you
California.
been?
It's War Eagle.
I see you, Willie Washington. Where you been?
Willie what?
And that's Willie Washington from Conyers.
Who got us on speaker or two devices? And unmuted. Let me see what's going on.
Debbie Lassiter.
Oops. There we go.
Debbie Lassiter, mute both of those devices.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mute it.
No, you got to mute both of them. You're on two devices.
This one's not going. This one's not going.
The other one
We'll get
is
it.
making an echo.
We should be able to get it. Let me see. All right, there we
They
go.
muted.
All right, good stuff. So, and we up on YouTube as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, guys, thanks for joining us again. As always, this week, always excited about all the information. So, thanks for all the support for those who attended the CDLP certification this weekend, and we always want to keep the numbers up on that so corporate knows that it's working. I see that Sherranda and Alan Roman needed to have seats added on separate occasions. So I know y'all got a lot of emails from me, but every time I saw the seats ran low and then they added seats, I sent another email out to make sure y'all guys knew that there was more seats in case you were trying to get it and couldn't. So apologize for all the emails, but look, it was a lot of excitement going on. And I don't know how many ended up getting in there, Sherranda, but it looks like last time I looked, it was about 130 people. So really excited for that class. Saw some great posts after that class about the information there. So once again, we're here to discuss CDLP sales motivation. We've got our CDLP trainers on the line. We're going to be talking a little bit about retaining your customers today. And we're going to talk a lot about getting through the process. And not necessarily getting through the process, but the process of you actually getting yourself to being a leader in sales here in the CDLP space. And of course, we know for us, when we say CDLP space, we're talking about adding that family plan. We're talking about adding that small business plan as well, not just selling a CDL plan. So we always talk about bundling here. So you guys know that it's always about selling both the legal and the CDLP together, and also going in companies where you can offer that small business plan. Sherranda Ivey has proven that going into the smaller companies where you can go in and go ahead and hammer that small business plan out and then close that CDLP has really worked for her. Obviously, she stays on the leaderboard. We've got other leaders on this line that stay on the leaderboard. I might pull a couple of them out of the audience. And so we've got, Sharon keeps her numbers up. Chris Seelig, I know she qualified. John Hoffman made a great post today about some activity he had in the field as well. So we're going to talk to all of those individuals about what they're doing, just so you guys will know. And you have to hear it over and over and over and over again, guys. Like, you have to hear what's happening so that you can go out and do it. And you've got to get past that, the little bit of fear of those calls, which I know the blitz has done for a lot of you all, but we want to make every day we can a blitz. And it can either be a blitz for you making fresh calls or a blitz to make follow-up calls as well. And I'm gonna give you guys a quick tip before we even get into anything. You guys need to put follow-up calls on your calendar. Put it on your calendar. There's a lot of people that I speak with that say, man, I keep saying I'm gonna make follow-up calls and I don't. I'm really bad at making follow-up calls. A lot of times it's because you don't put it on your calendar to make follow-up calls. So just as important as making direct dials or making initial contacts, you have to put it in your calendar to make those kind of calls too. So if you guys are excited today, go ahead and put excited in the chat. So I know that you guys are all woke, you're all with us, you're all ready to go. Put excited in the chat. Put excited in the chat.
Dunbar, can you make us co-host so we can
Lord have mercy.
help control the room?
I thought I did that a long time ago. What in the world is going on? Hold on. So, which is why
Sherranda, he's excited.
Right.
Hey.
I'm just trying to mute people and
check this out.
I plant people and
This is why Sharon did not let anybody in the call because she's not a co-host. And she probably like, this dude don't got me as a co-host or nothing. That's that excitement. Chris, get you. So Chris Seelig, you should be a co-host as well, I believe. I'm looking for you, John and Sharon. I'm looking for you. Oh, no. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Oh, while I'm doing this, we can go ahead and get started with introductions while I'm making you guys co-trainers. Co-hosts too. So Sherranda, if you can get started, I made you a co-host already, but if you can get started on yours and then turn it over to Chris Seelig, that'd be fantastic.
Awesome. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Sherranda Ivey. I'm out of Byron, Georgia. Been with Legal Shield. This is our 9th year with Legal Shield. We're 50K ring earners. Just learned we are Emory Leaks Associates, and we'll explain that later. All of us will. We've earned the production award for writing over 1,000 memberships a couple of years ago, so I don't know where we're at now, but we were Field Trainer of the Year 2019, and just come to this call to continue to learn. I really love this CDLP space, and this call has really taught me a lot. So just looking forward to continue to, learn from the field. I do host the accountability call on Thursday nights, and it's more like a mastermind call, but those individuals are really getting on the boards. A lot of those names, you would know those names that are participating in that accountability call. So shout out to them. And we've been going about 2 years strong, I think now, with that. So I do have some team, I'm proud to say, but it's on the solution side. We're starting to tap in with some partners on the solution side. And so just excited about that. So with that though, and thank you all for that who plugged into the training on Saturday. I think it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It went really fast than before. But so it went really fast. So but anyway, it was fun, and just I always like to share, and I hope I help somebody on Saturday. So with that, I pass it over to you, Chris.
Awesome. Thank you, Sherranda. Christine Seelig. A lot of my friends call me Chris. I'm out of El Paso, Texas, which is the bipolar area of the country. We have winter in the morning and summer in the afternoon. So I will be celebrating next month 20 years with the company. I am shooting or coming up on 4,000 personal memberships, 50K ring earner, do all aspects of the business, just like John Hoffman and Sherranda and the rest of the trainers on here. And got the notification as well, Emerald Elite. And like Sherranda said, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I do want to say this. Sherranda said those 5 hours went pretty quick. It does when you're talking and you're passionate about what you do. And I'll tell you this, I've taken CDLP training. I think Saturday's training was 156 times. And I'll continue taking it because there's things that I continue to learn from other people, other leaders in the company that I may not know. So I encourage each and every one of you, when you can get onto those calls, get on them, because they've got some massive nuggets to be taken advantage of. So with that said, I think I'm going to turn it over to, I believe, John Hoffman.
All right. Good evening, everybody. And share a lot of the same success that Christina and Sherranda have. And I go in the field quite a bit. I'm in Legal Shield 13 years. Actually, this is my 14th year. I started part-time while I was running my own business, which happened to be CDLP related with trucking businesses and trucking companies. So that's where I found my passion in Legal Shield. That's when I knew right away that's what I wanted to gravitate to. And it's a unique part of the business that once you endear yourself to it, you're going to find out that this is a worthwhile membership that is needed out there. You see what's happening out there with truckers every day, especially in Canada. When that happens here in the United States, we're going to be wanting to help these truckers as they are protecting our foods that come into the country and stock our shelves, and they're really essential workers, and you have to really appreciate them. And that's something that I do, and I can show when I do field training. I show you how we appreciate these truckers. All right, Robert, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hold on, I'm checking something right now. Now make sure I'm not crazy. Did nobody put excited in the chat? Am I missing something? Did I miss that?
You missed it, buddy.
I missed it.
All kinds of people were excited.
Okay,
It's
I just want to.
44
Okay.
people said it.
Okay, I wanted to make it because it's like on my side, nothing showed up. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm like, what's happening? Good stuff. All right. So Robert Dunbar here. I've been with Legal Shield for 13 years. Work all areas of the business solutions, and CDLP and team building and all that kind of stuff. 100K ringer, 250K ringers on my team. We do this because we love to do it. We love to make sure that you guys have something to plug into weekly. So, on Mondays, you can get on here and get some training from all of the trainers. And then on Thursday, Sherranda Ivey has an accountability call. So for those that are saying, hey, I'm a little bit more than excited. I'm going out there and I'm doing some work. I'm making some calls. I'm going into some places. I'm getting some results. I'm getting hung up on all the things that happen when you go out in the field. Then join Sherranda Ivey's accountability call on Thursdays and get plugged in, because that's a little bit of a tighter knit group with a group of people who are a little bit more advanced than just being on a call like this. This is kind of a beginner call. You could be at any level and be on this call. But once you start making some calls and getting involved in hearing some things on the other line, get a little bit of experience, it's great to be on that Thursday night call as well. And of course, every month we have a CDLP certification training. So if you missed this past Saturdays, there'll be another one coming up in March, I believe. And one of the trainers will probably have a date on that. I don't know the date of the next one, but Chris may know the date, or somebody else may know the date for the next one. So Chris knows it. The 5th, this the 5th again? The 5th of March, good stuff. So you guys will be able to get plugged into that and get your seats and get ready. So again, guys, this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about getting to that getting to that sales leader level. So we're going to reach out to some of the people who are doing that. Some people will get some results, and it's going to give you a few different tips. We may do some Q&A, but I'm not sure how we're going to do it on time. It depends on how good these testimonial type talks are going, that as we bring people to the call to talk about those different things. So of course, we always do ladies first. So we're going to reach out to Sherranda Ivey, and then she can pass it back over to Chris Seelig, and then Chris can give it to John, or excuse me, Chris, you can give it to Sharon, and then Sharon, you can give it to John, and then we'll go from there. And we're going to be talking about some things that you can do to become a leader in sales. And if you're saying, look, I don't want to be on the leadership board, right? I don't want to be a top seller in Legal Shield. Well, if you don't want to, then just do some of what they said. How about that, right? So if you don't want to be the top, then just do some, right? But listen to what they're saying, because they're going to talk to you about how to get better at doing this specific thing that you're here for, because there's a way to do it. And remember, it's a little bit different in on this side than it is on the regular legal plan side when you're talking about going in and doing just a regular group that does not have any CDLP aspect to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Sherranda Ivey first. And I guess I'll just kind of start it by saying, so Sherranda, of course, you got an LOJ award. You have an award for selling over 1,000 personal memberships. And yeah, I'm sure you're going on your second award, achievement award for that, which would be 2,000. Like you said, you don't know where you're at right now, but I'm sure it's coming. You're always on the leaderboard. You've won trips. You've been top small business seller in specific times. And now you're part of the elite, right? Whatever piece of jewelry you are right now, right? When it comes to that, whatever precious stone you are right now. And it's a process. It's clearly a process to doing that stuff, right? You can't just get on the Tuesday Blitz and do that. There's a lot more to it. There's follow-up, it's calls, it's research, it's all that kind of stuff. So if you could just kind of give us a day in the life, so to speak, meaning what was the process of you getting to that point? So everybody that's saying, this is where I want to be, will have some tips from you on some things that you can do. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dunbar. Well, it was a journey. So I'm back up in my office, and so I found a lot of journals. I remember when we didn't have a CDLP training in Georgia for years. I mean, we had one we was like 3 months in the business, and we had a CDLP training, and the next CDLP training we had in Georgia, I probably was in my 4th or 5th year in the business. We just didn't have a trainer. And I remember Chris coming, because the first training was over my head. Now, it was over my husband's head, so it definitely was way above me, because he the guy, he that book guy, and he didn't understand it. So I was lost. But anyway, Chris came to Georgia, I remember, in May. And the next month, I went ED off my own pen in CDL. And that was exciting, but I didn't stay in that space. I continued to be full service or whatever. But every time I tapped into CDLP, I wrote a lot of business. I got more referrals. And so I made a decision, 2019 maybe. We had just got back from Jamaica, and Dunbar and another trainer was in Atlanta. And I came as a new associate, meaning my mind was clear. I had chose CDLP as a niche market, and solutions was going to be my focus. And I remember just taking different notes. I remember going to a B2B training with Miss Larry as a new mindset associate to realize, just the wording was different. And from that decision, I just got laser focused. I got laser focused on focusing on this. I stopped being on everything and just was focused on solutions. But I also set goals. So along the way, because I had realized that sometimes we set goals and we set that yearly goal and we don't ever make it, and then we give up on ourselves. And that's how I had been doing myself. So I started setting realistic goals, whether it was writing senior director on my own pen or writing ED on my own pen, but I was setting little goals along the way, but I was still learning as well. And so one of the goals was to hit special forces. And if you're new, you don't know what that is, but it's similar to the emeralds, the rubies, and all that. And so I did. I hit special forces in small biz in CDL, and that was exciting. But then that went away, and I was like, well, darn, I just hit that. But then they brought this other level, and I remember putting it on my board, and I have emerald on my board for this year, because I didn't know when I made my board. I knew I was there, but you don't know till you get that email. So, but we have been Sapphire Lead Associates, and what that means is different levels, and it's really equivalent, I think, to the Platinum ED and senior director type deal on the networking side. And so I've been Sapphire ever since the program came about. I think the first year we were like in the 200s. And then I think last year we were like 170 something. And so this year we ended up at number 49, which is in the Emerald. And, that's exciting because I've always been building up. So, so I wouldn't give up on myself when I didn't hit the goal. So, and what helped is to start making those realistic goals. I participated in a 12-week year, and that helped me to stop making yearly goals and start making 12-week goals. And so that has really put my focus in perspective so I don't give up on myself. So with that, we just, so I just found what worked for me. And I guess my tips would be choose your major or your minor. And if you don't know how to do that, go to level 1 with Marty Galano. And when you choose that, commit to the process. A leader told me a long time ago to stop, don't look to the left, don't look to the right. And I didn't understand it at the time, but now I do, because sometimes we get off track because we're looking at everybody else's story and we're not focused on our own journey. So we veer off. So just focus on that, but find out what you really want to do. If you want to do solutions, do solutions. If you want to do networking, do networking. If you want to leverage your solutions business, work with a field trainer. You still can do it. It might not be your focus, but you got to know you have those options. And I think sometimes we say, oh, I'm a networker. You just don't know. You're losing money because you got these other people. But however, so my tip is just choose your major and your minor, commit to the process, become a student. And my biggest thing, I guess, what helped me was, and you hear this all the time, and she said it 1,000 times over, but Melissa Wilder always would say, know your plans. And I mean, we kind of know it, you hear the presentation, but it's different. She said, but she mean it a different way. Like, you got to know your plan, and you got to know what it does for the individual that you're talking to. And so that was my biggest thing. I learned these plans and how we could help the person I was in front of. And that gave me the posture. So that's my tip to you guys. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Chris.
Awesome. And yeah. And when Sherranda came to my training in May of that year, she did tell me she hadn't seen a trainer in that marketplace for years. So I feel kind of like the old fogey here on the training call tonight, because I was the teacher, but you want to aspire to be the teacher. The student becomes a teacher after they have all the knowledge and posture and everything else. So yeah, I got the same email, Sherranda, just a couple of days ago, myself stating that I got the Emerald Elite. This is my second year in a row getting Emerald Elite. And so for those of you, like Sherranda said, it's kind of like on the network side with, senior director, executive director, and so on and so on. It's on the solution side. So what Emerald Elite is, the top 100 producers in the company. And so we get a lot of perks when you become an Emerald Elite. You get a dedicated account manager to help you with your business. You get, if you're senior director and above, you get some extra bonus money included on that. And, if you need help with any of your accounts, that designated account rep is there to help you. But Sherranda is not telling you anything that some of you may have heard it for the first time today, but I know I've heard it for years and years. But Sherranda said something extremely important just a few minutes ago when she said they came back from Jamaica and she came in with an open mind, new slate, and she heard the same training, but it was different this time. And you got to understand, it's just like a sponge. When you're washing dishes, once that sponge gets wet, it's full, right? But you got to squeeze it out and get it dry again so it can soak up more water. So we want you to be the sponge. I told Miss Brenda Anderson, for those of you that don't know who that is, Brenda is one of our legends. She's been in the business 20 something years. She's the, I don't know what they're called now, but she's in charge of the Western region for solutions. And I had a conversation with her today and I said, Brenda, you know what? I said, it's amazing that just on Friday, I've been going through a slump, and I'm telling you this, you're gonna hit those valleys and those peaks daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. You're gonna hit them. Just get past them. I was in a slump for the last 3 weeks dealing with some stuff. I'm now the caregiver for my mother, and been in a slump for about 3 weeks now. And I told myself last week, you know what? I got to start over, just like Sherranda did. And I said, I'm going to fast start. So guess where I was at Friday morning? I was in a fast start class. And the 3 young ladies that I was in a breakout room said, what are you doing here? You've been in the business 20 years. What are you doing here? I said, going back to basics. Go into a new training with a new mindset. Go in there, learn, write notes. Don't think that you're going to retain everything here. They say, it makes more sense when you put pen to paper, and it lasts longer because you can find your notes later. But some tips that I'm going to give you guys is just similar to what Sherranda said. Pick a major and a minor. I have a lady that I just field trained in December that has been in the business longer than I have. She is a legend in the networking side of the business, but decided to reach out to me for whatever reason. I think I've met her once in my 20 years. But for whatever reason, she reached out to me and just asked me to coach her, not necessarily walk her through the whole process because she knew it. She's been there, she's done that, but she's never opened up a group. And she just asked for coaching. So I coached her on that, and she opened up her first group. And she was so excited. And she said, I'll never use another field trainer. I said, no. You want to use other field trainers. You're in New York. I'm down here in Texas. But she wasn't afraid to ask for help. So use field trainers. I don't care if you've been in the business 5 years, 5 months, 5 days, or 25 years. If you need assistance and you want a better percentage of closing, use a field trainer. I guarantee you'll get a better closing ratio. The other thing I want to bring to you all is make sure that when you go to these live events, because I know we're getting back into live events and stuff, meet the leaders, meet those that you want to emulate. I can tell you now, Mr. Dunbar, he has followed Mr. Self and Mr. Humes and many of the other leaders in his organization, and he's up there with them. Emulate those that you want to be, involved with. Get to meet them, know their story, get to know more about them and their families. Also, build relationships. I know we've got our 50-year anniversary coming up here in April in Oklahoma City. I hope each and every one of you will be there. I'm telling you now, if you're not there, oh my goodness, you're going to miss out on some extraordinary stuff. But when you get there, go meet those leaders that maybe they've been on your chicken list. Darnell Self will shake your hand, and guess what? So will Brian Carruthers. Go meet them, get to know them, get to know a little bit more of their story. If you're looking to meet, and Arjun, I hope I'm saying your name right, but if I'm not, I apologize. I promise you I'll get it right. But I wanted to meet him in Phoenix. And I went right up to him and I said, I need to shake your hand. And I shook his wife's hand as well. And I said, you are one of the upcoming stars, and I need to meet you. And that's exactly what I did. So build relationships with other leaders, because you never know when you might need their help. Because yes, I can write my own business and I have a good closing ratio, but what if I have somebody in Sacramento, California? What if I have somebody right on the border of the Arizona, California market? I can reach out to John. I can reach out to Arjun. I can reach out to any of these leaders on the call right now and ask for their help, because you want to leverage your time as well. Just like on the networking side, you want to leverage your team. You want to leverage your solutions business as well. Meet those other leaders and have them become part of your circle, so you have somebody to reach out when you need assistance as well. So with that, Robert, I don't know who I need to go to. Oh, I'm sorry. I do need to go over to Sharon. So every day is a holiday. Miss Holiday, I'll turn it over to you.
Let that be available. Go, John.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I'm not sure we're sure. Okay, there you go, John. All right, John, go ahead. Turn over you.
All right. Well, my tip is always be protective of your time. You know, if you're gonna set a time aside to do the business, just do the business. Don't let anything interfere with it. I come from a little different school than the people that are on their call blitz. When I've been working with some field training and some faraway states from me, and we get on calls. I might do 10 calls in an hour, but I'm having conversations on those 10 calls. It's not how many calls you can make in an hour, it's what you can do with those calls to create a relationship. So that's what I do when I do my field training with associates that reach out to me. Is we have a list of people we're going to call on, and we try and create a relationship with them, and not just see how many calls we can do. We want to make something out of this call. So be protective of your time you spend with Legal Shield. My early days, I remember I would sit in front of a business and I would give myself all kinds of excuses, like it's lunchtime, or it's too early in the morning, or they're ready to go home, or it's the weekend, they don't want to be bothered. I would talk myself out of going and calling on people. It's just you have to really get over that. And always, you know, I was leaving a funnel too. You always want to take somebody out of the funnel, throw a couple more people in the funnel constantly, keep it fresh. Always do the follow-up though, but you know, somebody that's not responsive, you know, put them in another funnel later on, 2 or 3 months down the road, and follow up that way. But always go ahead and do your follow-up, but always put 2 or 3 names in your funnel so you have fresh people to call on, and then you'll find that that'll start to build momentum. And momentum's is a funny thing. It's hard to get, but easy to lose. And if you don't keep up with it, they can fall away really, really quick. All right, Robert.
All right, good stuff. So I'm gonna mention a couple of things, and then I'm gonna go out to a couple of other people that I know are having some success. So I'm gonna be going out to you, Arjun, just so you know to be ready. But before I do that, just a couple of things that some people touched on here when they spoke. I heard field trainer several times, and again, you know, you hear it during the level 1 training. I believe they're talking about it during the level 2 training. I haven't taken the level 2 training in a few months now, but I know some trainers do things differently, but I'm sure they're talking about it there too as well. I know Marty Galani beats it to death, and we should. I know in the CDL training, we talk about field trainers. We talk about them on the Monday night call. I'm sure Sherranda's talking about it on her accountability call on Thursdays. Guys, accountability partners, workout partners or field trainers, when you're working with a field trainer, you have to understand, guys, that you need somebody to walk you through the process when you're doing this stuff, right? You need somebody to walk you through the process. And I don't care what kind of business you own. If you run in Legal Shield and you didn't know what you were doing, you would have to have somebody helping you through the process. And nobody's going to help you through the process for free, except maybe your upline. You may have some people that might just do you a favor and say, hey, I can answer some questions. But if you want somebody to walk you through, right, that deal so that you know how to do it yourself, come on, guys, like we all adults, you got to know that as a business owner, you have to pay people for their services. Now, you're not technically paying them. It's you work in the group with the person, but a field trainer is very important in shortening your learning curve. So just keep that in mind as you move forward, that if you want to get good, if you're stuck and you're saying, if you're still stuck in that stubborn mindset of saying, I'm not going to use a field trainer, and you still haven't advanced, then don't keep asking yourself why. Don't keep asking yourself why. You keep on trying to do it yourself and watching everybody else get it done and saying, well, I don't want to use the field trainer because of this and because of that. If you put it in your mind that you don't want to use one and that it's a bad thing, then you will eventually justify that. So you need to back off that mindset, because once somebody has told you, oh, I had a bad experience with a field trainer, now you think it's a bad deal. Now you justify every reason not to use one, and all you're doing is self-sabotaging your business when you're not doing it. Use a field trainer if you don't know what you're doing. If you're saying it's not one in your area, then find one that's not in your area. See if they can help you via Zoom, right? Give it a try. see if it works. Don't say that it doesn't work for you because somebody said that it didn't work for them. Because it's a lot of stuff that you're doing right now that does work in your life and in your business that somebody else has said doesn't work before. So I would say keep doing it, right? I heard Sherranda say something that was really important. Sherranda said, right, don't worry about what they're doing to the left and to the right, right? In this social media age, guys, really big thing. Everybody is looking at what everybody else is doing and saying, how come I can't be doing what they're doing? How come I can't have the success that they're having? How come I can't look like this person, act like this person, right? Most of the people that you're trying to look like, they don't even look like that. Most of the people that you're trying to catch up to them financially, that's not necessarily their finances, right? So stop looking at what everybody else is doing. Stop looking at what everybody else is running for, their 90-day run, where they got in a business at this point, and they're already here. And how come you can't do that? Because you don't know the whole story, right? You don't know the whole story. Work on your success. Your success is for you. So just keep that in mind. Stay focused on what you're doing. If Legal Shield as a company says, hey, we're giving out bonuses over here. If you're not in that space, then that bonus is not for you to run for. Don't switch your lane to go get a bonus. Stay in the lane that you're in, because Legal Shield has bonuses in every lane, right? So stay in the lane you're in and get that bonus. Don't switch lanes, because that bonus wasn't put there to make you switch lanes. That bonus was put there for people that's in that lane. So stay focused where you're at, concentrate where you're at, and make sure that no matter what, you can get to where you're going. John just closed off by saying, hey, his situation is a little bit different than anybody else's, but guess what? He's still running and doing all the things that he needs to do in the same business, within the same system, but his situation was different. His entry into the business was different. He's got a different background than some of the other people. It doesn't matter. Some of the CDL people have a background in trucking. Some of us don't. I don't have a background in CDL. I learned about transportation and CDL in Legal Shield. I didn't have one before then. Some people had a background before they ever got involved. Some people's parents were CDL people, right? So guys, it doesn't matter where you came from, right? We're human, we got brains, we have the ability to have a growth mindset. You can build from wherever you're at to get to where you're going, but don't run somebody else's race, run your race. Run your race, get to your level in whatever time you get there. Some people earn the ring in 2 years. Some people earned it in 4 years. Some people earned it in 20 years. Some people get millionaire club member status in less than 10 years. Some people take over 20 years. It doesn't matter. Nobody ever asked you when you get a ring, when you get to millionaire club status, when you finally say, I'm Emerald Elite, I'm in the top 100 sales, I made my first performance club trip. Nobody looks back and says, why did it take you so long? Nobody ever says that to you. Everybody just celebrates you. So just keep that in mind, guys. Focus on your race. Put those blinders on, like Sherranda said, and don't look left or right. So there's been some huge tips here that's been given. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Arjun. Most of y'all that's been on here for any amount of time. Sherranda?
Before we go out to them, let's address some questions before we get any further with the field trainer, before we go to those. So, Chris answered this, but somebody asked, at what point do you bring in a field trainer? Do you get an appointment first, or do you have them walk you through it? The field trainer list is in the back office on the resources. Pull the list. And like Chris said, the best thing for an individual to do is to connect with the field trainer. And the thing you have to learn too is, and I'm big on this, you have to ask questions, guys. We're independent associates. We don't work for anybody. Just because somebody's been in the business longer than you, you still independent, is your business. So you choose to work with who you want to work with. And if you don't feel like you're comfortable with one person, you have the right to change. But when it comes to CDLP, you want to make sure that that trainer is comfortable closing that business, because a lot of trainers don't focus on transportation. It's a different language. That's why we have to have a certification. But the list is in the back office. Emails, telephone numbers, what state they're in. I do field trainings all over. We all do. You can have a field trainer anywhere. But like Chris said, you definitely want to ask somebody before you get started, so you know how to prospect before you mess up the sale. If you have warm contacts, before you mess up that relationship, you want to start the process and talk to a field trainer and reach out to them and see what their process is for field training, and then go from there. So Chris answered that. And then they said, what if you are having a conversation on the phone and you are getting a buy-in? When do you get the field trainer involved? Same person. I just answered that part too. Get with a field trainer so they can help you with the process of prospecting. Okay. And then where can I find level 1 training on choosing a major and a minor? All the trainings are on the calendar. You can go to LegalShieldCalendar.com. You can get it LS Engage, wherever you find the calendar. Or you can go to business links on the business registration on LS Engage. So Sharon had answered that. So I said it out loud. Is there a recorded or live call recruiting into the CDLP space? So people ask this all the time, guys. CDL is not in a place by itself. CDL is solutions. It's just a niche market. So we have recruiting calls on the solution side all the time. Are they going to specify CDL? No. But we have business solutions recruiting calls, and all that information is on the calendar. And that's it, Dunbar. So Sharon's turned her camera on. Arjun, he's up. So we can go to Sharon first and then Arjun. Arjun, you can go after Sharon.
All right, you got to cue me up, Sherranda, what you guys were speaking of.
Just talking about, you made Ruby, the process of getting on that chart, and any tips for them on being consistent enough to get into that one of those gyms.
Well, actually, family, I didn't know I made Ruby. Somebody else had to tell me that I made Ruby, which is a good thing, because I was just constantly writing business. So truth be told, I have to go back and find out how did I make Ruby other than just writing business, doing the activity and putting the premium dollars, premium numbers on the board going forward. But other than that, was there anything else in regards to what you was about to say, Sherranda?
No, just where you just told them you was consistently writing business. So any other tips you want to tell them about the journey of staying consistent for you?
Oh yeah, of course, know your numbers. You have to have, for me, I have an income goal. I have a daily income goal of $500 a day. And then it comes to how many memberships would it take to get $500 a day. I start high with a small business plan and then work the other ones lower. Take, that $500 divided into whatever the premium amount is for the plan. And then that's how you know how many memberships you have to write. My minimum is 50 calls a day. That I strive to get 50 calls a day. 50 seems like it's a large, huge number, but if you did 10 dials an hour, in 5 hours, you'll get your 50 calls. Rather it's follow-up, brand new, or, incoming, where a lead called me or I got a lead from corporate. If you're in a director space and your premium is over and your persistency is over 78%, you will get a lead from corporate. So I don't want everybody thinking, how do I get a lead? That's how you get the leads, and that I'm paying for leads. And then prepping my work at night. I love it. A couple of weeks ago, one of our business partners on our accountability call, Mr. Bob Frazier, he is so disciplined with the spreadsheet and everything else. I'm not there yet, but just to have my name list, I use a Rolodex file, index card, 3x5, the 1st through the 31st, December through January through December. That's my filing system. So when I know when I'm picking up the phone for tomorrow, the 8th, all my calls, follow backups is sitting in the front in one stack. and then I just go through them right on the back side of it, what my notes were, and put them in my next follow-up date, or when I put them in the next follow-up month. You know, I'm not calling the same company over and over again. I search my numbers. I get my DOT from trucks that's driving on the side of the road. I come to a complete stop. I put, I write down the DOT number. When I get back in, I search those numbers, hopefully for something local. So if I can drive to it, I can drive to it. But if they're long distance, that's fine. I prospect and work in the lower 48. So therefore, I'm always making calls. I'm in the process of closing with Daryl Stanley. We was working on this account about a week and a half ago. The business owner emailed me back today and said, okay, we like what we see. We're ready to go. We'll be closing that account out in the next 24 hours with about 7 drivers. And so that's the beauty of using a field trainer when our team or our accountability partner that really knows how to ask for help and not overstepping bounds. And Sherranda does an excellent job on helping people in that space for accountability. And he'll say, Sharon, I have this particular company that A, B, or C, or D, their numbers are high. Can I get some help or assistance? And I check my calendar. If I'm available, yeah, I'll help you out. But I'm not doing emergencies or, hey, I need a field trainer right now. I'm sorry. I'm a business owner just like you a business owner. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing to be able to help and assist you when you didn't give me the respect or either any of the trainers or field trainers enough time to understand what you just brought on the table for us. So with that, I'll turn the call back over to you.
All right, over to you, AJ. AJ number
23.
23 in the company. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't know.
That's what I'm talking about.
I know, right? Like, AJ, so let us ask you. So last year, where were you?
Last year,
Were you on any board last year?
I was not on nothing. I was not even on a scope.
Okay, over to you, AJ.
So as most of you know, I do this part-time. I have a full-time job. So I do this part-time. And one thing I'm going to say, there's 4 things I want to touch on. One is know your industry. CDL is an industry. So you need to know the basics, right? We did get the training for the CDLP plan. We know how to present, but we need to know the other things to make things a whole. So make sure you know your industry, meaning go on FMCSA, read articles, get on in a magazine, get knowledgeable, because when you come across a safety director and if he asks you a question and you don't have the basic information, it doesn't look good, but you want to be prepared. The other thing is, do your homework, learn about different aspects of transportation, right? So make sure you understand that, and then be resourceful. That's one thing I've come across with safety managers when I talk to them is I'm not going in as, a CDLP Legal Shield agent or guy or salesperson. I go in as, hey, how can I help you? What is there that I can take off your plate and help you with that situation? And most likely they're going to look at you and say, oh yeah, we need help. Yeah, my drivers, man, I'm losing drivers, or they're getting tickets and are not responding or reporting those tickets to us, or CSS scores are up. Well, I have a solution for that. So if you become resourceful, you're going to get more business, or more to get in the door. CDLP is not, it's an industry you want to be committed to. If you're going to choose this lane, stay in this lane, because it's a big industry and it is a lot to learn. For me, what really opened my eyes, or what opened the opportunity, was that I plugged into the trainings, I plugged into the accountability calls, started learning about the industry and then practicing that, right? And the other thing is that field trainers, right? You have to use a field trainer. And not only that, but be open-minded. Yes, you're gonna get your feelings hurt like I did, because I was told that my presentation sucks. Some people said, they fell asleep. So I appreciate that. I took it as a whole. I took it as a positive, and then I went and I worked on it. I practiced, and I went to my next enrollment and I closed some business. And from then on, I got to this $50,000 ring and the success and all that. Success is going to come. You got to be consistent in your activity. That's the main thing that I tell everybody. Hey, you got to have activity, and follow-ups. So, those are some golden nuggets I dropped there. And, anything else that you need me to cover, Ms. Sherranda?
No, I think that's good. What Dunbar went? Oh, there you go. There you go, Dunbar. Dunbar always asks questions.
Oh, I'm good. No, I was actually kind of over here laughing because he ended and said, "Hey, here's some golden nuggets that I dropped here," right? But do you guys remember a year ago, whenever Lamar spoke, he would be the one to say, he would say, when Lamar would speak, he would say, "You better get to Lamar's nuggets." Lamar dropping nuggets, right? And now he's number 23 in the company. He's dropping nuggets. Guys, how many people think about this call from start to finish? I mean, not from like 8:30 to 9:30, but I mean, from when we started doing this call to now, how many people you guys have seen evolve? Like, we've seen Sherranda go from getting the LOJ award to becoming a CDLP trainer, getting the LOJ award, and being one of the top people in the company, producers in the company, right? Consistently being top in small business. We've seen our June Dashi go from trying to figure out how to close this massive company that he was all excited about, closing this big company, and everybody was all excited for him. And now number 23 in the company, right? I mean, just watching the person who hosts every week, Sharon Holiday, go from saying, "Hey, I'm gonna start taking my business more serious," to now field training other people that are on this specific call, right? And I don't mean to leave anybody out, I'm just calling names, right? But how many people have we seen on this call go from start to finish, right, on this call? I'm not even sure. I don't know whether I had my 50K ring when I started this call or not, whether I got it while I was on this call or I had it before, I don't remember, but I know I got my 100K ring while we were doing this call. So it's just watching people just evolve and watching them go through the business and get to different levels, guys, right in your face. When you watch it, when you see them vividly do that, and it's like, hey, I watched somebody do it, you can't say that it can't be done. It's easy to say, hey, well, when I got here, Darnell Self was already here. When I got there, Chris Seelig was already doing this. Melissa Wilder was already doing that. You can point out all the reasons, again, right? It's our mindset. We can point out all the reasons of why we can't do it because these people got in at this specific time. You guys have watched people on this very call, and this growth happening on a Thursday accountability call too. Same thing, right? How many people on that call? I hear Sherranda say week after week. How many people on the leaderboard are on that call? On Thursday.
Got you, Tyson. Got Tyson. Gene, Gene. What Gene last name? Gene something. Gene, how you pronounce your last name? He ain't on here. He works at night. But yeah, Wanda Bell, Gene Tyson, Bob Frazier. Oh my God, Louise. All these people are opening groups. These are people you see on the expo. Are those people in CDL? They made a decision and they chose CDL as their major. Those people call trucking companies cold call every day. I'm gonna shout out Wanda every time. Wanda takes vacation to do the blitz every week. She takes vacation time to make dials every week on the blitz.
That's huge.
Huge.
That's huge. That's sacrifice.
Yeah, and she focused on CDL. You have people that have been in the business almost 20 years and tried to do the network and they tried to do this, but they are focused on CDL. They learned their major and they just go through the numbers. They're making dials. They're figuring it out. East Coast people call them West Coast people so they can get their dials in. I mean, like the numbers are climbing and I mean, people have success. Like Shelter just like Sharon just opened that with Daryl. They're on accountability call. Shelter Asante, Tracy Brown. I mean, all of them. That's who's on the leaderboards. CDLP people. Because they plug into this call, they plug into the accountability call, they get on the blitz and they make dials. So
It's there.
Hey, Mr. Robert, one thing I'll add is CDLPs is a responsibility. We're saving somebody's life, literally. These guys are behind the steering wheel. And I always tell them there's some crazies right out on the road. They don't know because they're risking their lives, on the road. And there's this crazies that can create an accident. And next thing you know, they're criminally charged. And this is a very powerful product or service that we're providing. So, it's a responsibility that we're taking to save somebody's life. So that's how I put it. I put it in my presentation. I let the drivers know, hey, listen, I'm here to save you. This is whether you get it or not, but it's my responsibility to share this information and make sure you understand what we're offering. So,
and our June, a good point to what you're saying. And I don't know whether I said it in excuse me, because I'm on so many doggone calls all the time. I don't remember where I say what at, so I may be saying something I said last week. But I talked about understanding the purpose and your drive and your motivation has to go further than money, right? So one of the issues, mental issues that we all have, and I say mental, I don't mean like mental illness. I mean like mental health. I mean like mindset, right? One of the challenges that we have is that we do things for money. And then when money as an object is off the table, then we procrastinate. So the question is, when you're going to make that phone call, if you're not passionate about CDL and you're going to make that phone call, getting your 50K ring, qualifying for Performance Club, earning a bonus may not be enough to get past your fear. But if you say, when you make your list of people you're going to call, okay, I'm doing the blitz today. I'm making 30 calls today. If you literally, your purpose is something, your driver, your motivator is something a lot more passionate, like what you just mentioned, who am I going to help? Like, is a truck driver going to get into an accident today and not have good representation because I didn't make this phone call? Mm-hmm. That needs to be your driver. I remember seeing a couple of weeks ago that guy, the Hispanic guy, who they gave him like 100-something years. Yeah. And yeah, look, the guy had an accident, 28 people. I get the whole pile up and people dying 110 years. I get it. I'm not saying the guy shouldn't be responsible. But we know his brakes went out. Did he make some bad moves? Did he not hit the ramp to slow him down? Yes, but what would you do? 110 years. I've seen people drink and drive and get less time than that and kill people. You guys follow that? You got to have good representation, and these things happen. They happen. And if we're on the side, because there's not many people that do what we do, we're on the side that we can offer a product to make sure that when they're going through all of them, the mental situation that they have to go through, when it's that, could you imagine 110 years? Forget the 110 years. Could you imagine laying down every night knowing that you killed that many people? That many people lost their lives. That many people can't go on. Their families can't go on because your brakes went out and you made a bad decision. That's hard too on that person, right? And then they have to think about legal representation, because where's the money going to come from? No. If you've got a product like this, could you imagine now what a person that has our product will be saying? This was only costing me $30 a month. So think about the situations that a person can end up in and then say, man, I'm protected because a year ago I decided to pay $30 a month.
Hey, Robert, let me interject, and my apologies, because you went on the serious side. Let me give you a less serious side of what these drivers face. Had a driver just a few years back driving through the South States. I'm not going to say which state, but driving through the South States, got pulled over, and the officer told him, I'm going to write you a ticket. You tell me what you want me to write it for. I'm going to find something wrong with your vehicle. So you tell me what you want me to write it for. So that driver said, missing gas cap. And that's exactly what he wrote him the ticket for. So in that sense, what Arjun was talking about, it may not be as serious as this 110 years that this Latino guy got, but it might be that it's just somebody driving on the road and getting pulled over just to get a ticket that he may not even have expected or even deserved, should I say.
Yep.
And
I
that's
had
how
one
we protect.
recently.
That's
Yeah.
how we protect these men and women out there.
And along those same lines, Chris, I just had a non-CDL situation, like similar where, and this was in the state of Georgia. I had a client call me, hey, my daughter got a ticket in Georgia. She was going to Atlanta. She got a ticket in Georgia. She lives in Florida. And called the Florida law firm. Florida law firm turned it over to Georgia. Georgia attorney called me back, said, hey, it's going to take us a little bit of time because of COVID. We're trying to do it. We're not going to get her in court. We're just going to deal with this. The attorney said, we're dealing with a lot of issues in this county right now because this county's funding has just been pulled because they have literally been writing so many tickets to people that don't live in this state to create income. The ratio was so high that the state of Georgia pulled the funding from that county because they were just writing tickets to people who had plates out of state for speeding, even if they were going 2 or 3 miles over the speed limit, right? So what do you do when that situation happens? Do you just pay it because you're out of town? You guys follow? So her mother had the plan. She's on her mother's plan. And the attorneys are going after it that way and saying, look, we're going to get it knocked all the way down to where she may have to pay a small fine, but they might throw it out altogether because right now the judges are being pretty tough on them because they're writing tickets to anybody for anything because they're funding their county with that. So how does that happen? Because how do we find out that? Because that client has our membership. So who are you protecting with this membership? Sometimes that's a bigger driver for you. So if you're really selling these memberships for purpose, then when you can't call on that list, like I said, you pick that list up and it's heavy, that phone is heavy, ask yourself why you're doing this. Take money out of it. Take bonuses out of it. Take Performance Club out of it. Who are you protecting? Who will be in a situation without an attorney because you didn't make those 30 calls today? Sometimes that's a stronger why, a stronger vision to doing that. So trainers, do we have anything else before we close out?
Yeah, like Chris said, I mean, we could tell you examples. If you just call a driver and talk to them, just check on them. Michael Rowe out of Alabama had a friend he sold a CDLP plan to a while ago, just a CDLP plan. Now he's plugging into this call and he wants to do more. And he realized, oh, my friend called me back and asked me about business issues. Can we sell him something? Me and Michael called his friend about 2 weeks ago, and he was about to lose his business because of legal issues. And if we hadn't called him that day, he would have lost his authority. He would have lost a lot of things. And he's been in trucking for years. I mean, if you call these drivers and make a friend and not come with a sale, they're all dealing with something. Chris talked about, the man, said, what do you want me to write you up with? I had a new driver, new company. I think this was like the 1st of January. Guy was so upset. He was like, the man, I went to the weigh station. I did what he told me to do. And he still wrote me up. And he told me to do that. He told me, just go. And he told me he wasn't. And he gave me a ticket. Some guys are being racially profiled on the road. But I mean, it's so much. I had a driver that got pulled over at a weigh station October the 15th. He got pulled over for hours of service. It was a Friday. It might not have been. It was a Friday. He got pulled over for hours of service, got put out of service. They smelled weed on him. They didn't write that on his citation. He called Legal Shield. He got an extension. They called Legal Shield, and the attorney went to fight the ticket. And I think he had to pay like $500 or $600. And his question was to the owner, man, that's a lot. The owner said, dude, that's not a lot. They could have wrote you up for weed. The lawyer said you got off good because this was going to be over $2,000. Plus, they could have put that on the ticket and you could have lost your license. Owner said, dude, pay this. But if he hadn't had Legal Shield, it would have been worse. It would have been that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what we do, man, and these people, they just got to know. And I mean, it's just so much. I mean, I tell you, it's so much. And when you can wrap your mind up what this plan does for an individual that drives commercially, not necessarily have a CDL, but drive commercially, when you can wrap your mind around how you're helping somebody feed their family, pay their bills, make a living, keep their business open, keep some employees going, you'll push through the nose. You really will. You'll start dialing everybody and sharing with everybody about this CDLP plan. Because they go through a lot. And now audits are getting more, they're doing those more often. They had got a little lax with them, but they're coming back now doing audits. And these people have been in COVID chilling, half doing stuff. And it's just going to be a lot. But I promise you guys, what we offer here with this CDLP plan and these other benefits in this industry, I mean, we're doing a good deed every day. And if you realize that, you'll be just as passionate as the ones have spoken. That's all I gotta say.
Hey guys, I want to share one quick testimonial, and it's not on the positive side, but what our drivers have to deal with. I have a new driver on the books. He's a former sheriff deputy, and he decided all his life he wanted to try trucking, so he got into trucking. And for those of you that are not on the trainings or don't know a lot about the state of New Mexico, he was driving through New Mexico, got pulled over by law enforcement. Law enforcement and him go off to the side of the road, start talking. They start building a relationship and say, man, I was former law enforcement. This is what I did. And he goes, I respect what you're doing. I understand you got to write me a ticket. That's okay. I'm in the wrong. Go ahead and write me the ticket. And so the guy's telling him, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and write you this ticket, but you want to take it to court or do you want to pay the fine? And he goes, I'd just like to take it to court. If you don't mind, that would be great. That way, I can learn from this. And the officer said, okay. And the reason I'm going to stop right there real quick. The reason I say that he was offered an opportunity to pay the fine or go to court is because in the state of New Mexico, you have an option. And that option is to pay the fine or go to court. They're supposed to give you the option. My experience in it's now 18 years that I've been working in the CDLP industry is that 90% of those officers don't give that option. They just write the fine on the citation, tell the driver to sign it. The driver just, I don't want to deal with law enforcement. Let me just sign it. And then they realize on that ticket, it states, if you sign this by paying the fine, you are guilty on the spot. It's not those exact words, but that's what it says. By signing this, you are admitting guilt. They're convicted on the spot. So this driver was talking to law enforcement and said, hey, yeah, you know what? I'd like to take it to court, learning experience, so on and so on. Gets a ticket. He, as the officer's telling him, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Don't worry about it. Writes him the ticket. He folds the ticket, puts it in his book, gets on the road, goes to the next stop where he needs to stop and use a restroom or take a break or whatever. He opens up that ticket and there's a fine amount written on there. He thought they were putting down a court date. The officer put down the fine. Now he admitted guilt on the spot. He was convicted on the spot. No attorney can help him. It's he said, she said, and guess who's going to win every single time? Law enforcement. Now, I have nothing against law enforcement because I have family in law enforcement, but there's some out there that just want to share their bad days with you. And I'm just telling you, because of those drivers, As soon as they put that key in that ignition, they have a target on their back. So don't take this lightly. Don't take CDLP lightly. It might be lightly to the rest of the field, but this is huge. This is a huge market. This is a huge opportunity. When Sherranda first started this division, I mean, I was like, whoa, she's on fire. She talked to anybody and everybody. But folks, don't let this go by. If you want to major in this space, like Sherranda said at the very beginning, stay laser focused. Talk to more people. Ask your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers. Who do you know that's a truck driver? Who do you know that drives for commercial use? Who do you know that drives for income producing activities? And I guarantee somebody that you know knows somebody that drives a vehicle for either income producing activities or a truck. So that said, I'm out. Thank you guys.
I like that. Don't let them put their bad day on you. That's good. I know, right?
We always go over as usual, but we can appreciate y'all appreciating us going over and sticking with us. So thank you guys for staying with us again for another over 60-minute call. But guys, look, excited. 77 people still on after an hour and 20 minutes. So we appreciate you guys. We look forward to you guys next week. For all those that's plugging into Sherranda's call on Thursday, accountability call, get plugged in there as well, so that you guys can grow in this industry. Next week we'll be back. And you saw Chris Thorpe, March 5th next month is going to be the CDLP certification. So get yourself registered as soon as that goes up, guys. Thanks for being committed.
And that's with Lamar Reynolds as co-host.
Yep.
Co-trainer.
Lamar Reynolds. All right, good stuff. Lamar Reynolds will be co-hosting that training. So Lamar Reynolds and Alan Roman. Good stuff, guys. All right, so get plugged into that training, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week. And thanks for joining us this night, Chris. Hope to see you again soon. And all the other trainers, thank you guys. Thank all the testimonials, Sharon, Arjun, all you guys for helping out. Appreciate you all. Everybody have a good evening.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
You,
Thank you for that great
Thank
info.
you.
Great job.
God bless. Have a great
Thank you,
evening.
everyone. Have a
AJ,
great
keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Have a
It's
good
Grant.
night.
I'm about to
Good
call
night,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Congratulations.
Sharon, congratulations also.
Thank you, Al. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
You all take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.